So, dear friend, today we are discuss about the station 4, and here is a scenario that you are a junior doctor working on a renal ward. Mr. Stephen Foster is an anxious 45-year-old man who is admitted for investigation of nephrotic syndrome. And nephrotic syndrome is characterized by edema proteinuria of 16 gram per 24 hours and serum albumin 14 gram per. So his plasma creatinine is normal, and he has a history of long-standing ankylosing spondylitis, and the renal biopsy show deposition of amyloid. So scenario is very easy. Patient is suffering from long history of ankylosing spondylitis, and in term he is suffering from amyloidosis, and this amyloidosis is causing his nephrotic syndrome. And his case was discussed on the renal ward round. The treatment of the ankylosing spondylitis may reduce inflammation and thereby his tendency to form amyloid, but it is unlikely to have a dramatic effect, and it is expected that he will require continued symptomatic treatment for his edema and proteinuria, that his renal function is likely to deteriorate with time, even to the point where he requires dialysis, but this is not predictable, and that his amyloid may cause problem with function of other organ in the future, and but this also is not predictable. So your task as a junior doctor to explain the diagnosis of amyloidosis to the patient and discuss what this means for his future. So if the patient first you introduce like that, hello Mr. Foster, are you Mr. Foster, 45-year-old? I am Dr. Ujjwal, one of the pages candidate. I want to talk to you about your disease. So during our conversation I take some notes, and you must be sure that it will be confidential, and are you on that someone other than else will be present into our conversation. And after the introduction, patient can ask you, what is amyloid? I have never heard of it. Before that, doctor asks the patient about, please tell me about your disease, what you know about that. And patient simply describe about his own language, what he previously knows about heart disease. And then patient asks you a question, what is amyloid? I have never heard of it. So it is your task to explain the patient about the disease. Like it is a quite rare problem, so that is not very surprising. When you get infection or inflammation in the body makes a special protein called amyloid and fight the infection or inflammation, which is a good thing. But if the inflammation goes on for a very long time, as your case with ankylosing spondylitis, the body finds it difficult to get rid of the protein designated to fight inflammation, and they get deposited in the tissue. In your case, at the moment, this is happening in the kidneys, and once the proteins are there, it is very hard for the body to dissolve or break them up. Then the patient asks you about what's wrong with my kidneys. Then you tell him, at the moment your kidneys are actually doing their main job of removing waste from the blood normally. The problem is that they are leaking, so some of them protein in your blood is being lost into the urine. Now when this happens, the kidney try to make up for it by hanging on to more salt and water than usual, which is why your ankle are swollen. You can help them to ankle swelling with diuretics, water tablets, and we can reduce the amount of protein leaking with a particular sort of blood pressure tablet such as angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. Then patient can ask you about, is there anything that will get rid of the amyloid? Then you tell him about, no, I am afraid that it's extremely unlikely that it will be possible to get rid of it. But if the inflammation caused by the ankylosing spondylitis can be reduced, then the rate at which it increases can be slowed down and it may even improve a little. Now, I am not an expert in this area, but we will discuss things with our colleague in the rheumatology department, and if they come recommend any treatment to this, this is something I am sure you will want to talk about with them in clinic. Then patient asks you about what happens in the amyloid in my kidney gets worse. Then you tell him about there is a chance that over time the kidney will work less and you stop clearing the blood properly. We will keep an eye on this with the blood test in the clinic. If the kidneys do fail because of amyloid, then and this will not happen suddenly. It will be a gradual process over many months and years, and we will let you know about what is happening so that we can plan treatment. And it may be that you will need dialysis, the treatment to do the work of the kidneys in the future. You might not, but it is a possibility. And if the patient asks you about does amyloid affect anything besides my kidneys, or I had a quick look onto the internet and read something about amyloid in the heart being very serious, then you tell him about that. You are right that amyloid can cause trouble in other places, especially the bowel and liver, but these are less affected than the kidney, and I am pleased to say that although some of the other kinds of amyloid do affect the kidney, the kind that you have almost never cause heart trouble. And if the patient asks you about then I am going to die from this, doctor, am I going to die from this? Then you tell that you are right to think that this is a serious condition, but some people with amyloid do die earlier than they would have done otherwise. But at the moment, the problem you have is not life-threatening, and many people with this problem will not get worse for years and years. Then you terminate your conversation by saying, so, are you with me, Mr. Stephen? Have you got understand all of these things we discussed in last 10 minutes? So, have you someone with you to dive? Then terminate that discussion by saying, okay, thank you, doctor, thank you. So, this is the part we discuss about amyloidosis as a result of long-term ankylosing spondylitis. First, discuss about the problem by telling the patient what is amyloidosis, and then answering the question what causes amyloidosis into the kidney problem, and what are the other possible way to damage the amyloidosis of the heart, and what is the treatment option, and what is the prognosis of amyloidosis. And by fully on this answer, you you let the finish of this case. So thank you viewers for your kind participation. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel.